Hello? Oh.
What happened?
This is Annie Sloan.
And I'm Tristan Merriam.
And this is The Colourist,
A podcast about colour and its influence on our lives. This week, we are talking all about a colour that was discontinued a couple of years ago, but then by public demand, triumphantly brought back. Tell us about the colour Burgundy and its history as a chalk paint colour.
Well, it is interesting that we did that because I thought it was an essential colour to have. It's number 5 in our colours, so it was an early colour. And actually, when I came out with it in 1990, it was an essential colour because everybody was into traditional colours, into the whole thing about I suppose recreating traditions. And so it was Victorian. So if you had a Victorian house, you had to do it in Victorian colours. So it was really, really big. And then it stopped being sold nearly so much. And I still had a respect for it, but I was finding I didn't use it as much. Our sales had gone down. And so we stopped selling it.
But
and oh my goodness. Outcry. So what people were using it for a lot is for mixing it. And so they were adding it to, I don't know, blues or whatever it was. They were mixing it into greens or whatever. And so we brought it back and everyone sighed.
Yes, I mean, gosh.
Sighed of relief. So yeah.
And is that the only colour that has ever been dropped and brought back?
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it is. It's a unique colour.
Yeah, unique
and we're going to celebrate it today by
Yeah.
talking about its inspiration and its background.
Its background,
You've just said a very popular Victorian colour. So let's start there. Why was it so popular in Victorian times and how was it used?
There's 2 reasons. One is that red comes from I think we talked about last week about how it came from not last week, the one we've done this morning actually.
Yeah, Napoleonic. And
indigo. So this is came from a plant that was called the madder plant.
Right.
It's got a technical name, but we don't need to worry about that. And so red was always being used and it was very popular. It was used in Victorian things, houses, particularly it was, the red of velvet plush, the red of petticoats, depending on how you dyed, you could get a very bright red or a deeper red or a more turkey, what they call turkey red, which was the colour of lots of carpets. So all that beautiful deep red of carpets, and you know how different that can be. It can go from something.
Well, yeah, looking at all the imagery for this episode, there is a huge variance in the colour, Burgundy. Yeah. So what is Burgundy as a chalk paint colour? How would you describe that for someone who's never seen it?
Okay, good question. I went for quite a deep, rich colour. I'm always very keen to know what happens when you add white to it because white gives you the true story. So it is a sort of cherry red. So when you add white to it, it's got that lovely sort of cherry pink colour, not a strawberry pink, but a cherry. So it's got blue in it basically.
Like Napoleonic had red in it, Burgundy's got blue in it.
Oh,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, exactly right.
That's interesting that it's got blue in it. Okay.
Yeah, it's got blue in it. And you can see it. As I say, add white to a colour and you get to see what it actually is. It helps to. So I wanted a deep and powerful colour. And, if you want to make it more like the turkey brownie type red. When I say turkey, I mean the country.
No, not like a Christmas turkey.
Not a Christmas turkey.
Oh, gosh. No. We don't recommend painting them either.
I was going for the country.
Yeah.
And there's that sort of Ottoman red.
Yes.
And that was also very, very popular in the Victorian times, the Ottoman Empire. So it was lots of, beautiful Turkish looking.
Because it was quite rich and opulent.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of stuff coming.
And it was
Crimea, all that stuff came in from Turkey and came from Istanbul and from the Middle East in a way. So that was really, really important. And so what happened by absolute chance. I believe it's chance. Actually, I've since read this week doing research. I've always been heard that this young man, I think he was 18, called Perkins, I love it, Victorian boy called Perkins, was trying to find something to do with quinine and a cure for whatever quinine cures. And he did that. And in doing that, he made something called alizarin crimson, which is now alizarin crimson. So it was supposed to be something to do with coal tar. It was a byproduct of what he was doing with coal tar.
So he was not trying to do anything to do with colour, but
something to do with
colour,
medicine.
yeah, completely.
So I've since read this week that may not be completely true. But who knows? I like the idea it was an accident.
A happy accident.
I think it's great.
Absolutely, yeah.
But what's also interesting, there was somebody in Germany, two men doing the same thing, and they both put in their patents for this new colour. But the two German people did it a day earlier than poor Perkins.
Oh, poor Perkins. He was just 2 days late.
1 day late.
1 day late.
I know.
And what date are we talking about?
Oh, middle of the 18th century. No, 19th century.
Right.
I think something like 1830, 1850, something around there.
Okay. So when Burgundy was used, the sort of colour of Burgundy was used as a dye with the madder roots.
Yeah.
That we're going back a lot longer than that.
We're going back a long time, and you're talking dyes and dyes. So what was amazing about the alizarin crimson, it made it into a paint.
Right, and that was the breakthrough.
Yeah.
For using it in interiors, and it's paved the way for Burgundy chalk paint.
Yes, first I think as quite a fugitive colour, meaning that it didn't stay; it would just be around for a short time. And so watercolours and stuff like that. But I think eventually they've been able to make it into a strong
paint
colour that stays.
And so when it was a dye, sort of going on with the dye thing and the madder thing, it was used to dye the Redcoats British Army uniform.
That's right. So yes, we talked about that. So I just think it's phenomenal that both these two plants, dye plants, was so important for armies, the French army and the British army.
And the way the world and countries are represented on such an important level, something as important as wars and, you know.
And it's nothing to do with red being strong and blue being strong, nothing to do with that. It just happened to be the abundance of this dye that was easy to do and strong.
It is amazing.
So, the British redcoats, and I think American as well. I'm not sure.
And then we've obviously got Napoleonic.
And then we've got Napoleonic.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So this colour, we've already spoken a little bit about Turkish carpets. It's a very popular colour with these sorts of rugs and carpets.
Yeah.
Show us some imagery of these and tell us about how Burgundy is interpreted in these rugs.
Okay, so let me show you. This is the root, which I think is really cool because it's sort of orange. It looks like a carrot.
It does, like a gnarled carrot.
But they do have to do lots of things to it. So it's not just a matter of getting that, boiling it up. They do all sorts of things, which I didn't get into. I don't get into that. But I think what is really interesting that from that, you get lots of different colours.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that this morning, I was wearing this for the blue, and this is a sort of, it could be a sort of madder colour.
Yeah.
It's sort of,
a much lightened version of it.
And that is my sort of Indian version of it.
So it goes both
a
wide scale.
Very wide. And look at that. So these bright reds, everybody knows what a carpet looks like, the Persian carpet, Indian carpets, whatever. But those reds are gorgeous. And that I absolutely love.
I know, this image. You didn't take that image, did you?
No, I didn't.
Because I never know. When you send me these pictures, I think, well, you have been everywhere.
I have been a lot of places, but I've never seen, well, actually, I've been to Morocco. So in Morocco, you get, this is these colours.
What an inspiring place and picture. I love it.
So gorgeous, isn't it?
So many shades of red and burgundy and,
Yeah.
combinations of other colours with that colour, which is very
Yeah.
exciting, different patterns.
And what I
Okay.
like about that, although any of those rugs could have been in a Victorian house, it's not just that. There's another vibe going on. I suppose it's a little bit sort of rustic or boho chic or whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to show you things like that.
So who is this
Well, I
as
think
a designer?
that might be Kit Kemp.
Okay.
So Kit Kemp is a modern designer. She designs hotels mainly. She has her own hotels. There's ones in New York and there's ones in London. And she often uses quite strong designs. I particularally love that.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Because that is what is called a Suzanne.
Mm.
And it's a great big piece of fabric. I mean, they're beautiful. They actually come originally from the Uzbekistan and Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. All those gorgeous, the stans. And it's sort of south of Turkey.
And it looks hand embroidered?
Yes, I think they are, there's cutouts. Apparently they're very rural. You would go to each regional is what I meant. Very regional. So you'd go and you'd find one being made here and another one being made there. They're very similar but completely different sort of thing. And I think they're cutouts, which goes back to Matisse, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And then you stick them all together and cut them all
together. And it forms its own design, but from different origins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that idea.
Next to it, here is this beautiful one, which I think is an ikat, I-K-A-T, which up until now I always thought came from Afghanistan, but I've just been re-looking at stuff and find that actually it's from India. But then I also read something saying it's Indonesian, so I'm quite confused.
We're completely confused now.
Well, I think it's because, like I said, when I did the
Napoleonic
blue one, there's been an awful lot of intertrading.
Yeah.
So people would buy something from India or Indonesia and then trade it for something else, so that things got a bit confused. I think.
And we're surmising, we are here to inspire people for you to talk about this and do a lot of research for each episode, by the way. But some of the things, you get two answers, don't you, when you look them up?
Yeah. For me, what I love is that I like to know where things come from because it sort of helps me understand it. But then I look at that and I think, oh, I could do those designs on a piece of furniture. I mean, that would be great. Things like that.
Absolutely.
And the lines around it and all the rest of it.
So Suzanne is the name of the style. It's like the
way it's made.
Okay. When I first read it, I assumed it was a person, but no, it's like it's a style. Okay. I'm with it now. Style. Okay. Yeah. So it's this hand embroidered, we think cut out and sort of put together to make one larger piece or pattern.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. And who else in terms of the design world? We've just mentioned Kit Kemp, which is, she's very inspiring with her use of colour and it's bold, it's striking. Who else has used burgundy in their designs?
Well, and we're returning slightly to somebody who is very Victorian.
Yeah, but that's good.
It is, because it's William Morris. So this will be something that people are very familiar with. This is the Strawberry Thief.
Absolutely.
And it's got actually a combination of the madder red and also the blue of indigo. And he's very well known for his initial designs. He was very into knowing about craftsmanship and encouraging craftsmanship and going back to how things were properly made. Which was interesting because he was at time of the 19th century when it was all being industrialised. But he was saying, no, we've got to go back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, very, very keen on it. That's why his stuff. And if you look at the original of these, they are beautiful.
Where can we see them? They're not in the Ashmolean, are they?
They probably are, yeah. Well, he lived around here in Oxford.
Did he?
Near Oxford, yeah. And there's a big museum of his where he used to live in London, in Walthamstow.
Because William Morris, I think that it continues to be very current. I mean, so many places have got a William Morris range or line, and you see it everywhere.
I used to do interior design in my shop that I had in Oxford, and I was just stunned by the number of people that would come and say, "Don't have any William Morris, do you?" And I'm thinking, "Gosh, there's been so many other designers since.
Yeah.
Why do you want that?" But people find him he's wonderful.
Yeah, and I love that he had this kind of ethical, moral compass towards how things were produced. I love that.
And actually, although I find it a bit difficult to look at William Morris because I'm so over familiar with it.
You've seen it so much, yeah.
When you see the original colours in their proper vegetable dyes, because they're all vegetable dyes, it's suddenly... And the fabric's gorgeous as well. You go, oh, I get it now.
So maybe for someone who's a bit over William Morris, who's seen it in lots of, stores and places, go to a museum and see them in real life, and it'll reawaken your passion.
You can still, I don't know if you still can. You used to be able to get the still ones made from the original dyes. I don't know if that's still possible.
This one's beautiful though, because the touches of burgundy or red are definitely the accent colour. The main colours here are the blue and probably the green, I suppose. And then you've got the red as sitting fairly much in the background.
And there are other colourways, of course. So sometimes there was more reds, but the red was quite brand. So I decided to show you that one.
But I like this idea that it was used very traditionally in Victorian times in quite a boho, maximalist way, sort of, with Kit Kemp. We've just touched upon William Morris. Is there any other style in which it's been made very popular?
Well, I wouldn't say popular, but I do see it being used in a very modern way. So this deep, deep red with sort of with stainless steel, with some greys or some sort of canvas colour.
Very cool and contemporary.
Cool and contemporary. And actually it does look really, really good.
But isn't this what it's all about? It's so exciting that you create a colour. And the part of that joy, surely, is seeing it interpreted and used in so many different styles.
Oh, totally, it does. When people say, I don't like a colour, it's a bit like saying I don't like a food.
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't like cooked tomatoes, but raw tomatoes are fabulous. So that's how I see it. So I don't like actually... crimsony, reddy, burgundy colour clothes. I don't mind the pink. I love it when it's got white in it. But I don't like that deep red generally. But then I do have one of my favourite coats is that colour.
I was thinking that when you were saying it, thinking, well, she's forgotten about that one.
No, I haven't.
That is very burgundy.
It's because it's got white with it, and it's also velvety, and it's a sort of Indian, actually slightly Suzanne-y. So I'll show you photographs of that. I think we better take.
In your coats, absolutely. But we've also spoken about Swedish interiors in previous episodes, and that was more primer red, Scandinavian pink, but burgundy definitely did come into that style as well.
Little bits of that were, because the 18th century, again, which is what we're talking about, the Gustavian period, and that would have used that, just tiny bits of it, quite rich and deep and fabulous. So it's a colour which actually can be used a lot. And if you're using it on furniture, I mean, it is so rich. Looks fantastic with gold. It looks fantastic with olive. And so obviously...
I was just thinking, complementaries, absolutely. They're getting it now. I think we're all getting it. It's good. And you've also put here as a great combination, Svenska with Svenska and Chicago grey.
Oh, that would be,
so that's
very cool and modern, I've got it on one wall in my house. I painted a wall and put a picture on it because it's an amazing colour for a background colour.
But it's not one of your wall paint colours.
It isn't, but you never know.
No, you never know.
Might be something.
So you used chalk paint to paint this wall?
I did. It's a wall that I never touch.
And it's because of certain artwork that you wanted on that wall. You knew burgundy would be a strong background.
I just wanted it on that wall, and then I found a picture to go on it.
Oh, fair enough. Nice. Yeah, but I've seen a lot of imagery through looking into this episode of burgundy rooms. when we were looking for Kit Kemp as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe in the future,
Yeah.
Burgundy wall paint.
Yeah.
It could be done.
Might well be.
It could be done.
I would suggest to people that to Google if you'd like to see more images. There were so many, and I just, in the end, gosh, I'm just going to tell you. Google Kit Kemp and Suzanne, or Google Kit Kemp and Burgundy reds,
that's what I did.
deep reds, and you'll see some really beautiful, quite boho, but very sophisticated.
Very sophisticated. I love her stuff.
Yes. And other people as well. You'll see lots of stuff out there.
So we've spoken about sort of lightening the burgundy, so it's more towards the pinks. We've spoken about traditional Victorian burgundy, the Turkish rugs. What we haven't yet spoken about is taking it more to a magenta and a brighter, reddy pink.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about magenta and where that word originates from.
Yes, I forgot about my lovely magenta. I love the fact that magenta is actually... somewhere in Italy. I actually have always thought it was the Crimea. I don't know why, but because it became fashionable. It was Napoleon's Battle of Magenta.
Amazing.
And it became it became a name of a colour. Amazing.
And so why? I mean, is that a stupid question?
Timing.
Okay.
And great pride in winning.
Absolutely. And that's in 1859.
Is it?
Where the French and Sardinians defeated the Austrians.
Oh, thank you.
That's what you've told me. That's your notes.
Well, I forget those.
No, that's great. I think that's amazing. But it was originally a synthetic dye called fusine?
Yes.
I can't pronounce that.
Yeah, I think I'm named after fuchsia, the flower.
Yeah.
That sort of, because it was a bright red, a strong red.
And I see it being used in that sort of, when it's a bit like the little scarf you've just held up, or little swatch of fabric, sorry.
Yeah.
I see that when it's that magenta tone being much more Indian. That's what I associate it with.
Very much so. So you've been to India, you know what this
colour, yeah.
You see this everywhere. This very, very bright pink. And so that is one version of it. I mean, I do love to show that this is my Victorian cushion, beaded red cushion, and this
a stark contrast,
so different,
but part of the same family.
Exactly.
And what you're wearing,
same dye,
and your cushion.
Oh yeah,
and you need your coat.
I'll get my coat.
But it's amazing. It's this wide spectrum.
And West Africa.
I love this cushion. So we spoke about this on the Napoleonic episode a little bit, but it's a great pattern and a great colour.
I just realised where I got that other fabric from. So so that means it's Africa. So this, it would be from indigo, and this would be from madder. It's amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
2 colours.
Yeah. And what I'm finding fascinating with this episode and the previous one is how it's just so clear how many different parts of the world these colours originated in, and how they came about, and then how they travelled around the world and became popular in other parts of the world when they came from a root or a plant in wherever it might be. I think it's an amazing story.
And lastly, I'm just going to show you.
Yeah, tell us about your other cushion.
It was from my mum. My mum, I don't think she embroidered. No, she would have bought it. And it's just a typical, very Victorian cushion, which was quite popular. And she had a Victorian house, so it would have done very well.
Well, we were talking before we sort of started recording about how this colour can bring back memories of sort of our parents, our grandparents' houses and things. And I think that colour would resonate with a lot of people, actually.
Vinny, who's recording all this, saw this and just went, Grandma.
Yeah.
And I say, that is my mother. So it is.
Amazing.
Do you have memories of that sort of colour so much?
I don't think so, really. I should have had a really good story up my sleeve, shouldn't I? So I could have said yes. No, not with Burgundy. I'd have to really think about it. But it didn't make me immediately think of something.
Your parents, it would be probably your great-grandparents.
Yes, exactly. But I love how it does kind of evoke memories. I think that's very special indeed. Yeah. Now, we've said what colours it works well with. I've got a question about using it to blend with. So do you ever use it when blending 2 different colours together?
I would blend it with Empress Silk because you could bring Empress Silk down into something really rich. I would love to try to, I've not done it actually, which makes me think,
You need to
why
do it.
haven't I?
Yeah.
Or I might have done, I don't remember. Blending it with Napoleonic blue because they would be very close. You would get a sort of purple in it.
Well, I'm just thinking out loud. You tend to do a piece of furniture inspired by each episode, if you've got time.
Yes.
So maybe for these 2 episodes, you could do one using Napoleonic and Burgundy.
I might well
That'd be fun.
Actually, I could combine... Oh, I don't know. I could combine it.
There's too many ideas.
There are so many ideas. Yeah. One of the things... We talked about Toile de Jouy in the Indigo one and about how it was from... the blue often I talked about, but actually there's a red version of Toile de Jouy which would have come from originally.
Yes.
So I'm wondering
there
whether I
is,
can
because I was thinking I mentioned pink in the previous episode, but actually, there's a much deeper red.
It's a deeper red colour. So and you know, I do love Toile de Jouy.
So you might do a piece inspired.
I might do.
Ooh.
But then I really love the whole idea of the whole sort of tie-dye sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, you know, the bluey... Oh, I don't know. I've got so
too
many
many
ideas. Too many ideas.
Well, when this episode comes out, what I think would be really lovely, and people do this, which is great, is send us images of things you've painted using Burgundy.
Would love that.
And it's really nice to be able to share them and show people how many different people use and interpret this colour.
Yeah.
So let's try and get quite a few shares on this one, because we've already established there's a wide range of colours and many different ways to use it.
Yes.
Whether your vibe is Victorian or cool contemporary warehouse, who knows, or Indian or Swedish folk, or, you know, there are so many ways you could go with it.
Mind is being blown.
It is a bit.
Too many things.
But it's been great to find out more about that. Now, from one rich and indulgent, beautiful colour to another, we're going to move on from Burgundy, and our next episode is going to be about...
Tyrian plum.
Wonderful. Can you give us any little teasers of what to expect?
We're going to visit Phoenicia.
Oh, is this a person?
No.
Excellent.
My best
friend, Phoenicia.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think let's just leave it there, because that sounds very mysterious.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
But as always, thank you very much for listening, and keep an eye on socials for all the imagery, and we'll see you next time for a bit of Phoenicia.
Phoenicia, yep. So thanks very much for joining. For the sharp-eyed amongst you, I hope you realise I was wearing my red glasses.
Always on brand.
Magenta, you know.
Always.
Don't miss a trick. Thanks very much for joining us. Bye.
See you.